I'm just saying that's what I would have.
Yeah, probably me too. Honestly,
Like that's what I was saying about the SEC. Like if you're a quarterback, like in down south, like where that division is, like Tennessee is like fifth on your list to play there. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're the best quarterback, you're gonna want to play for Alabama or like Florida or like LSU, regardless who the coach is.
yeah, I know. Yeah, I know a lot of people want to go to good teams.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at it,
Like there's people that'd rather be a third string quarterback at Alabama than start somewhere else.
yeah, but if you go to, say you go to Tennessee and you're a good quarterback and you're part of responsible for bringing that program out from where it's at now, you're going to be looked at as, a legend. If you go to Alabama and do that, you're just going to be looked at as another guy.
Yeah, but if you don't do shit at Tennessee, you can at least work out with Saban for 4 years.
Yeah,
there's bench players that like get drafted by Saban.
a lot of people do it just for the, like, especially like being Saban. They want to go play for Saban.
Yeah.
Because I mean, let's be honest, he's the best coach in college football.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying. Like I said, like there's a lot of players. Like when you look at like the drafts, I remember when I was younger, it's like, whoa, holy shit! Like the number one wide receiver, the number one quarterback, the number one running back. Like, and it's like that every year.
Yeah,
Like, he really like knows how to like get players there. It really almost makes me feel like he's paying them.
I'm sure there's a little. I think a lot of teams do that. It's just who gets caught. I mean, I've heard stories from people that. I mean, I don't know if this is true or not, but I know somebody who went to school with Julio Jones and Foley, and he's, according to him, Julio got 2 Tahoes. I don't know how true that is, but I mean, I think these players, they're getting something under the radar. I mean, I think Hugh Freeze was pimping out girls for the Ole Miss players back when he was there.
I mean, to be honest, I kind of think it's like that. Like with players, there's like a refund check, and everyone gets like that 1 or 2 grand.
Yeah.
So like a lot of players, but I feel like boosters are like a motherfucking agent is throwing them cash like that.
It may not be the school itself, and it may be the actual boosters, but I mean, when it comes down to it, the school gets in trouble for it.
Yeah, because I remember the Alabama, like when Nick Saban signed that like contract extension like a couple years ago, they paid off his house, like all the boosters.
I know I had heard something along the lines, like, Auburn went to the Final Four in basketball this last basketball season, but the NBA or the NCAA violations they were looking at, it was I think it was over Wiley, because I had heard that he got paid money and his mom tried to like go buy house cash or something like that with it, and it ended up getting him in trouble. I don't know if that's true. I mean, that's just speculation. But let's finish these top teams, because my iPad is starting to die.
All right, no problem.
It's on 10%.
I was going to ask you about what did you think about the USC Washington game?
I think it's going to be a good game. Honestly, I don't know who I'd really want to pick right now. Who you got, Mason?
Washington, just because of Jacob Eason.
Let's see. I think, I think Washington will end up pulling it off. Because, I mean, Jacob Eason, he's a really good quarterback. But on the on the flip side, if USC runs it down Washington's throat.
Well, I mean, they're going to have
See, I
to
was gonna
because
say
their
that I like
quarterback's out.
Washington's defense.
Yeah, they.
Like they always play tough to me.
Which I mean,
With USC being out of a
starting
quarterback, that's going to.
Yeah, Washington has a stout defense though. And,
You think Boise State should be number 16?
No.
who do they play this week, or do they even play? Because I don't see them on here. To be honest with you, I've totally been. I haven't even kept up with Boise State.
When I was younger,
They used to be.
I used to like them because they had like that Mighty Ducks offense. Like they do so many trick plays.
Oh, I know. Boise State used to be the team, man. Which, I mean, I think they're undefeated. Yeah, I think they're on like a bye week this week because I don't see a game for them. But, which I don't really. I mean, they could honestly win out all the way because I don't see a team that should beat them. Maybe BYU could beat them.
Maybe Wyoming.
Oh yeah. Wyoming could be a tough game for them. Yeah, I'm a little surprised they're at 16 off of just who they've beaten this season. However, a lot of teams have been dropping off their, doing it to themselves.
Yeah, I always say that too. Like every team that I always think that's like super sweet always loses to like the most bullshit team.
Yeah. And I mean, a lot of teams in the top 25 knock themselves out, and other teams just move up. But let's see.
Who's like Auburn's like big games this year besides Alabama?
Florida and LSU and Georgia.
And do they play LSU or Georgia at home?
Okay, so Auburn plays Mississippi State this Saturday at home, and then they don't play another home game until November. So they play the whole month of October away. So they'll play Florida away. They play Arkansas, Ole Miss, or it's Florida, Ole Miss, Arkansas, and then they play LSU away. And they haven't beat LSU since 1999 in Death Valley. But on the flip side, they get Georgia and Alabama at home, so that's a big plus.
See that? The thing is, Auburn's that one team, like, if they're at home, you feel like they could take Alabama.
Oh, yeah. They always, like, for some reason, I mean...
Like, that's how Michigan Ohio State is. Like, damn, you got it. Like, Auburn's the real one, though. Like, yo, they might upset you if you have to play them at home.
Yeah. The odd years, for some reason, is always, like, especially since Gus has been the coach, for some reason, the odd years is always his year. And it seems like every odd year we do good. So, I don't know. It's I mean, Auburn's got one of the tougher schedules out of the nation, and it's going to be a lot. I mean, if Auburn went undefeated, it'd be surprising. To be honest, I mean, the problem is if they beat Georgia, they have to play them again in the SEC championship if they win out, and that's always like that was a challenge like in 2017. How do you feel about that Michigan Indiana game? And then we'll get your prediction for that, and then we'll call it a night.
I hope Michigan wins that shit. I think they need some good wins.
I think they. I mean, huh?
Like they just have. My bad for cutting you off, but they just have some. Like they've just been playing like shit.
I don't think that. I think they should beat Indiana, which I mean they're favored by a lot. The spread's 14 points, which don't always mean anything, but I just think. I mean, you can say what you want about 2 weeks ago, but I think Michigan State's just going to be better equipped for to win against Indiana. Who has Indiana played?
Indiana is one of those schools I feel like they really shouldn't even they should be in the Big Ten because of location, not because of how good of a team they are.
Yeah. Which
there's some small D1 teams that could put up a good fight against them.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, they beat Ball State by 10 points, and I mean, I don't know a whole lot about Ball State, but I know they're not good.
They're not even high in their conference.
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, just
like Central Michigan by me, they breed athletes.
Yeah.
Like Antonio Brown and all of them went there.
So,
there's another player by me, Tyler Conklin, went there. Like, they have good athletes.
Is that
my friend from high school,
Corey
Sean
Davis
Bunsky, he plays for the Bucks right now.
What?
I think Corey Davis went to Central Michigan too, wide receiver.
He went to Western.
Western, that's right.
Well, Corey, do you know what I'm saying? So that area, they would both beat out Ball State.
I don't see Michigan State losing to Indiana.
Here's a question I want to ask you because it got brought up earlier, and then we can head off.
Okay.
But when do you think Alabama will ever be a passing team, or a play that does some jet sweeps or some shit like that? Because they're known just to have a running back and just Trent Richardson is someone, Mark Ingram, and he's just going to be the one who you know what I'm saying, the workhorse.
Yeah, they've definitely gotten out of the traditional running offense, especially what Alabama used to be. But yeah, I think they're there right now. They've been, especially with UCS as his old coach Sarkisian. They're pretty much. They run the ball a little bit, but honestly, they're not getting any push, especially in between the tackles. So, a lot of the big run from the running back last week, it was just a little bitty dump pass, hand up, leaping a guy and running over a guy. So I think they're there now, especially with Tua. Now, if it changes when Tua leaves, that's one thing. I think they kind of adapt to whatever players they got, especially quarterback wise, because it wasn't too long ago they had AJ McCarron and Jake Coker where they ran the ball a lot and did a lot of play action, but now it's just hike the ball and go.
Yeah.
See, I really didn't like McCarron and all of them, all the guys like that.
You didn't what?
I didn't like McCarron or really any of the Alabama QBs growing up. I really didn't think they were nothing special.
Yeah, I think they were just they're in a good system. Honestly,
I'm gonna be honest. If Alabama starts grabbing the 1 and 2 wide receiver of every draft class, they might as well go into a passing front,
right?
In a shotgun.
And I think that's. Their running game is really not what it used to be.
You think that's because of the line or the running backs?
The line. I don't think their line's as good as it. Their line's it's holding off. It's good block passing, but when it comes to run, they're not going to push at all.
You think they could change that by the end of this year, or no?
They'll get better at it. My thing with Alabama that's kind of been surprising me is the defense. I don't think their defense has been as good as it usually is.
Which the secondary.
Which, yeah, and that may be due to a lot of having to play a lot of freshmen. Because they got put out their starting linebacker, probably their best player from last year.
Mm-hmm.
He tore his ACL or something like that, didn't he?
Yeah, or his Achilles. It was one of the two.
Yeah, so I think Saban's just good about working around what, the problems in his offense and defense, which I don't even think Saban really touches the offense.
Like I said with Saban, I think he touches the offense a little bit. He definitely gets tells a player to be over another player.
Oh yeah, And I
My
feel
thing is, Alabama has so many athletic players. Like,